Okay, next up are the flying geese, and here are the instructions for the flying geese. And we are going to mix it up a bit today. So what you'll see here is the quilting for the flying geese. Now, what's different about it, and if you look down here, the quilting is done after we do the piecing part. So, in order to do that, we have to make a few little changes in our order of our design. So I'm going to look for the radial lines to 4x6 design, and then I'm going to add the flying geese. So here we go. All right. There we are. So it's radial lines, long hold, VP3, and we're going to select 4x6 radial lines. So there it is. There's the first one. Now I'm going to deselect, go into my USB, and go back to the original designs under, whoops, went back too far. So happy. And scroll down, and there it is. There's the 5x7 flying geese. Now this one is also centered, so you'll have to go into your edit, or I'm sorry, not the hoop options. I'm still using the master hoop. Edit design, and I am going to take that design I just put in and put it in the center. There it is. Then in order to grab this, I'm going to tap on it in the layers panel and center that. But also, this will stitch out first, which is what we want it to do, but we're going to change it slightly. So that's what makes this one a little different. Okay, close up everything. I'm going to move this down here out of the way because it just drives me nuts. And then I'm just going to slide that up there. Okay. Now, I am going to use a light gray thread. You can use white if you choose to, but I decided to use light gray. Then when I look at my supplies that I need, whoops, almost lost it there. I have my pre-shrunk no-show mesh in the hoop already. So I'm going to hit go. And I'm going to turn off active stitch technology because this one is all straight stitching basically. And then I'm just going to bring it over. And this was the color pink that I used for one of my scissor blocks. And I'm going to put the hoop in place. Now the pieces that I need 6 pieces of 3 by 4.5, and I'm going to use this white dot, or black dot rather, on white background. Then I need 3.5 by 5.5, and I thought I cut these correctly, but you know, probably not. But the design I'm copying uses 2 of them the same and then 1 in the center, so I'm hoping I can align this. I'm not sure. I thought I'd try it anyhow. You have a yellow, a green, and a blue for yours. So, looking at your directions. So we definitely need the grid. So what we'll have to do is use steps number 1 through 4. And then we'll skip 5. All right, if that's a little confusing for you, just watch along. So there's number 1. And let me move this again. See, I just changed screens and this thing is right up there. Put that down here. So there's 1 of 1. Okay, that's the placement line for the batting. And I need a 5x7 batting according to my chart. So here we go. Now I'm on my second full bobbin, so just so you know, you're going to need to wind more than one. Oh, maybe about 5 bobbins, I'm guessing. Okay, next up, tack down for the batting. I just put a new needle in and I'm not liking the noises I hear. Okay, and bring it forward. And then trim off the batting. I'm wondering if I don't know. We'll see. I may not have trimmed the batting off. That when we did it. All right, so now 3 of 3 is the placement for the fabric. We're going to skip 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to jump to 2, 1. And what you now see is, let me move this over here, 2. You're going to see the grid being stitched on to the batting. Yes, that's right, the batting. All right, there you go. You can see what's going on. And as I said, I used gray so I could at least see it as opposed to white. It should be okay if you follow the directions. I'm sure you have your book open, so you can look at the sequence. Now it's going to go all the way around. That's the stitching line there. Now it's stitching the cutting line. Alrighty. Okay, so we are on color 2-2. So what we see right here, we just finished stitching the grid onto the batting. The next step is I am going to put the first black piece down against the batting with the right side up. The stitching will be along the right side at a diagonal. And then we're going to trim that fabric. Okay. So the first piece of fabric I'm putting down is this black with white dots. Now, I went ahead and I put the Pillon Shape Flex on the main pieces. It does not have, if you look at your directions, this is a nice helpful tool, is it tells you what stabilizer you need. And for this particular one, all we need is the no-show mesh. But I went ahead and put it on those parts of the design to give it stability. Okay? Up to you. So now I'm going to lay this down and I'm centering it over that first one. It should stitch right here. Okay. Now what's really important is you don't want any bleed through. So I'm going to bring out my hoop and cut it as close to the stitching line without cutting the stitching that I just did. Okay, now we're going to go back to the directions. And the directions read, we are going to place the background fabric right side down, right here, with one long edge centered on the placement line. Then it says stitch the seam, and that's 3. It says use a mini iron or finger press along the seam line. If you're using an iron, remove the hoop from the machine and press on an ironing board. I'll show you what I'm going to use. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this right on that stitching line. Right, so actually it's just there's a little bit of fabric left, so I'm going to line that up with that raw edge. Because the way this has been digitized, I'm going to try and do this without showing my finger. There you go. Now, of course, I can finger press this. I slide this up like this, and I can finger press it. And again, I can bring out the hoop and I have my little roller, and I can roll that flat. Whoops. I could also put my little hoop potty under here and iron it with my little cricket iron, but I'm not going to. So next step, we're going to go down this way, and that is stitch number 4. So it's the pink on the screen if you're there we go. Again, bring out your hoop, and this time I'm going to stitch here. No, I'm not. I'm going to cut here. Sorry about that. Okay. Next up, color yellow, which is 2:5. I'll go this way. Well, I'm stitching up this way. I want to get that snipped. Let's see. I hope I didn't cut the thread, the needle thread. Okay, good, I didn't. And I'm going to go over this way, finger press it, or use my little roller tool. And number 6 is straight across right here. You missed that then. I finger pressed here. Let me do it again. Or I can go like this. But number 6 is going straight across. Bring the hoop forward to the trim position. Trim it right like that. Now I'm going to take my print and I'm going to place it down against that stitching. And I'm going to try and center it. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to center it on both sides. Now, we did this block in the class. And we only had one person mess it up, but we fixed it. We were able to unstitch it. In all fairness, she had made the half square triangles in the 2 scoops project the week before, so she was slightly confused. All right, so now I'm going to go back up this way and basically repeat the steps. Okay, bring it forward, trim, fabric down, like so, and stitch. You can watch this video to see how to do it, and then once you get the hang of it, it should work. Nope, I didn't flip that down far enough. All right, let's see. Hopefully I can. There. Hopefully that won't be too short, but that's what would show up as this would be a little bit too short. So next time I'll be more cautious. Bring it forward. And I'm on number 11. Okay, now this I'm going to pay closer attention. Putting it down. I didn't trim very well here. I don't think it'll matter though, because that little piece of fabric is white. Okay, here we go. And this way. That didn't work out like I planned, but you can just see the bottom of the dress form. Maybe I should have had a piece of a spool, or maybe one of the bobbins or something, buttons. Oh well. Not doing it over. Bring it forward. Trim. And fabric centered over the block. That's why, see, these have to be longer, so to make sure that they cover the outside stitching. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right. Pull it up and press it. Finger press, or use your little rolly tool. Just like this. All right, and then I'm sure they suggest you use tape, but this might have been better had it been pink. Oh well, live and learn. I could always do another one and replace it with just a filler block. In other words, instead of doing the filler block, I could make another one and add it to my quilt. Because according to the original directions, there's only one of these flying geese. And because they go so fast, I think I might do that. Okay. fabric down, center it on that stitching line. Okay, that went down and went back up to get the needle in the position for the last one. Okay. Bring it forward. And cut it. This is kind of awkward. I hope I don't, let me move it here. I don't want to knock it out or knock my iPad on the floor. Okay, then I'm going to put my last piece. Now you know why you need 6 of them. Right there. And stitch. I'm going to pull that thread out of the way. I should pull those out as right after it the machine cuts it, but again, it was a little awkward to try and get in here and do this. Okay, so now I am going to I don't want to stitch down any threads here while I'm quilting. Alrighty, so now we're going to do the outline. So 2:18. Here we go. Now this is the stitch that stitches them all together, and you're also going to use it as a guide for cutting. All right, now it says it's finished, but we know it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up, back up to 1:5, and we are going to quilt. And this is an interesting pattern if you haven't stitched this out. It goes along the edges, and then it stitches those little spikes, radiant, sunshiny kind of things. I don't know what to call them. Now, of course, you could use white on yours or light blue, whatever you think might look best. I used white. The majority of the people in the class use white. I don't like how it looks. So according to the recorded video here, this is about, I don't know, it might end up at about 35 minutes. And to me, that was a fast block. Maybe it'll be longer. Let's see how many minutes we have left. Well, we have 4 minutes, so it'll be a little bit longer than 35 minutes. If I knew how to speed it up, I would. But I'm not. Minutes left. Now what it's going to do is it's going to roll into the first stitch out of the second design, which we've already done all of that. So remember, we had to go back to the last part of the first quilting design. So even though it shows me the next part of the design, we're just going to ignore it and go back to embroidery edit. All right. So here's what the design looks like. And then this is, right here is the trimming line. That's what they call it, right? Along the outside. And then the rest, a 1/4 inch from all of that, will be the stitching line, and that's where you see the batting come through the light, with a light. Okay? Any questions? Just ask. Bye.